All right, good morning, my friends. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully the background music's not too loud. If it is, just let me know if the background music is too loud. I'll just bump it down a notch here. How's everybody doing today? The last weekend before Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas. So shout out to all those retail workers out there, restaurant workers, hospitality workers, or pretty much everybody else that has to work on this weekend. I know how crazy it gets. The last weekend before Christmas, it's just insane in the membrane environment out there. People shopping, people have short tempers. Yeah, just stay safe out there. Keep up the hard work. Appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas or whichever holiday you do celebrate. Yeah, appreciate your contribution. So today, of course, we're doing a morning stream, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. This is going to be part 4. Our vampire has moved around quite a bit. So a quick recap of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. Real quick, before I get started, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is a solo journaling game by Tim Hutchings. It's excellent. It's available on DriveThruRPG. I believe it's available on itch.io. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice little exercise in creative writing too, if you're into that sort of thing. But I like it because it allows you to have those that creative exit, I guess you could say, the creative outlet. That was the word I was looking for, creative outlet. Without actually having to get a group together and play an RPG. So it's considered a solo RPG, although you could probably play this with a group as a collaborative storytelling game. Everybody would just take a prompt, roll the dice, and go through the prompts, which would be cool as well. Might try that out one day, if I get a group together. So recap. Okay. Quick and dirty recap. Our vampire started out as a 13th century English noble, got turned into a vampire, got chased out of England by vampire hunters who happened to be vampires as well, went to Italy, found the Holy Grail. Yes, the Holy Grail. Ended up losing it though. While in Italy, pretty much fed on livestock, but then, kind of fluctuated between feeding on people and surviving on livestock. And then fell in love with a woman in France. When John, that was the vampire's name in England, John Hauser IV, when he moved to Italy, he had to change his name to Silvio Decenzo. Then he fell in love with a woman in France, moved over there to be with her, and was almost immediately chased out of France by her family, who found out what he really was, a vampire, forced to move to Russia, and moved to Russia, changed his name to Misha Ilyich, and that's where he's at currently in our story. Centuries have passed since the original incident in England, so this isn't like back-to-back events. Hundreds of years have already passed since those original events in England, and even centuries have passed while he's been in Moscow, or at least 1 century has passed. There are a couple mortals that are alive in Moscow that are considered mortal friends of Misha, and that is Michel Duran, who is actually descendant of Noelle Duran, the woman he fell in love with in France. And then there's Cosma Yanovna. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these. These are all fantasy name generator names. Cosma Yanovna, who's a undertaker that provides a sleeping place for Misha and a place to bring the bodies of victims. So we finished here on prompt number 42. You can see over here on the left side, prompt number 42. For some reason, mirrors don't work with vampires, and that includes like telescopes. So Misha can't use anything that has mirrors, like refracting technology or mirrors and stuff like that, like telescopes. Probably means you won't be able to use like cameras or anything like that in the future. But yeah, that's where we are. These are our memories. We have a diary that we can keep some memories in. 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is a game about forgetting. It's about a vampire living for 1,000 years. Maybe 1,000 years. Sometimes they die earlier. Sometimes they live a little bit longer. But yeah, so over those centuries, the vampire forgets. Doesn't remember things from their past. They can have a diary, but diaries can be lost. Like this first diary was lost. So all these memories, the vampire doesn't remember any of this. So the vampire doesn't know that he was from England originally. That's been forgotten. He doesn't remember his father. He doesn't remember his brother. Doesn't remember any of that stuff. It's just what memories you have here is what your vampire remembers. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna roll D10 and a D6, and then we're gonna take the difference and move that many spaces, so it's a +7. So we're gonna move to prompt 49. 49, okay. What simple, practical skill proves invaluable in your strange existence? How did you learn it? Create a skill. I got a lot of skills. I really need more resources and skills. I mentioned that in the last stream. You bump down this audio a little bit. It seems a little loud in my headphones, but may not be so much on your end. Simple practical skill proves invaluable in your strange existence. Simple. Because I was going to say undertaking because of Misha's friend, Cosmo. How did you learn it? Create a skill. Proves invaluable to your strange existence. So it has to be valuable to being a vampire. A simple skill that provides... proves invaluable to your strange existence. The first thing that popped in my head was tracking, like being able to track a human, to follow a human without being seen. Stealth is another one, hiding. Simple, practical skill. Proves invaluable in your strange existence. Ooh, how about like tailoring? Yeah, tailoring would be nice because like, if you live so long, you still have to constantly make clothes. But I guess you could just steal clothes. As a vampire, like you got to stay up to date, or you would look weird if you were dressed in clothes that were from a century earlier. Heck, even 50 years earlier, you'd look weird, right? I guess in today's society. Create a skill. Tracking seems like makes the most sense, but tailoring is interesting too. We could fit it in here. Like, how would Misha learn tailoring? From the Undertaker? A gun maker? Create a skill. Yeah, I'm just gonna go tailoring. I kind of like that idea. Tailoring or clothes making. I don't know what memory this will fit in. Let's see. Scientists, I have an open memory here. This one's about feeding. Yeah, I could put it in memory 5. And then take this memory and move it to my diary. Your diary can hold 4 memories. So we'll do that. And then we'll have nice clear spaces for memories. Cosma taught me how to sew and create new clothes for myself. This will come in handy as my time much longer and Staying in style means staying out of scrutiny. There we go. All right, we got another memory we can move down here. Oops. Do that. All right, we cut it. And then add a new memory here. Paste. Go ahead and bold that. All right, so we moved another memory into our diary number 2. We got plenty of spaces for memories as long as they tie in with some of these other events. So what simple practical skill? So how did we learn it? We did mention that. And we have tailoring as a skill. So let's go ahead and roll the dice again and see where it takes us. 10, D6, another 9, another 2. How random is this rolling program? Same result. I don't know what the odds on that are, but they're not common. I know that. So 1 in 10 chance twice. That's what, a 1 in 100 chance on the D10s, and then a 1 in 36 chance on D6s. Multiply that together, and that's what your odds are of rolling the exact same number on a D6 and a D10. All right, enough with math. Let's move ahead 7, which will bring us to 56. Okay. You begin a fantastic construction that puzzles the mortals around you. Give just a hint to its purpose. Lose a resource. Gain the skill visionary. Damn it, you gotta lose a resource. Fantastic construction that puzzles the mortals around you. Okay. So we are moving closer towards the end of the prompts. Now, of course, there's chances you can jump back and forth. The game will last a little longer, but I think we might be able to finish this game today. If we keep rolling 9s and 2s, of course. 7s are a big jump. All right, let's shoot. Let this one marinate for a second. You begin a fantastic construction that puzzles the mortals around you. Give just a hint as to its purpose. Lose a resource and gain the skill visionary. So all I got in resources, I have a docket, a list of various vampires, I have a diary, which is just scrap paper sewn together with needle and thread. And that ties in nicely with tailoring. Did not notice that. Involuntary tie-in there. Vampire network and body storage vault. Fantastic construction. Give just a hint to its purpose. Lose a resource, gain the skill visionary. I'm thinking about losing the body storage vault, and then because Misha is building like a long-term storage vault, like a vault that can last forever, like a vault that can survive a nuclear blast, even though nuclear weapons haven't been invented yet for another few hundred years. Yeah, it's the first thing that popped in my mind. Where can we put this? We put a memory 3. This one's about feeding. Memory 5 is empty. Memory 3 is empty. Let's put it in memory 3. About knocked my coffee over there. That would have been good. All right. Oh. Begin construction of an underground structure. It should last for a good long time. Should I be began? Construction on. There we go. Thank you, Google. Could last for a good long time. Skill visionary. So many skills. We have a very skilled vampire that does not have much to their name because we keep getting skills and not resources. Wonder if that's part of the game. So let's strike through this resource. So we lose the body storage vault because we're beginning the construction on this. And yeah, perhaps we're already storing bodies in it for all we know. Alright. Roll again. That was a nice quick one. D10. D6. We moved ahead at 7 again. Uh-oh. We might be coming to a close here pretty quickly. Let's see, it's what, 64? Vast numbers of humans are migrating around the world. What group becomes easy to feed on? How do you capitalize on their helplessness? Create a resource. Vast numbers of humans are migrating around the world. It would make sense to say, like America. It didn't tell us to jump ahead in time. Vast numbers of humans are migrating around the world. What group becomes easy to feed upon? How do you capitalize on their helplessness? I mean, travel became more and more common, right? By boat. So that can be something. Yeah, let's do that. I kind of like that. And we could put this in the feeding category here on memory 4. We could fill out the diary. We move memory 4 down. Okay, you can only have one diary at a time, so if your diary's full and you need to add more and more memories, and you just start forgetting things again. Yeah, so humans are more and more likely to board the ships that zoom the seas. People fall overboard all the time. They can't tell if they've drowned or drained. There we go. Create a resource. Our resource is literally boatloads of victims. Yeah, so like I imagine Misha is getting on these boats and taking advantage that these boats are people are traveling back and forth, you know, on boats, and Misha's using these boats to feed when he's hungry, and then just, you know, he does have the skill and, well, not anymore, body disposal, but yeah, just I guess just sly enough to drain one, dump him overboard, and you know, be no worse for the wear for it, at least for the time being. All right, let's roll again. So, create a resource. Okay. And their helplessness is that they're confined to a boat. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. All right. Did we roll? 7, 7, 7. Been rolling a lot of 7s. All right, D10. 2. All right, might have to move backwards here. Nope, move forward 1. 65. We're going to get a prompt 65. A possession turns out to have financial value as an antique. Trade your oldest resource for 2 contemporary resources. Huh. Okay. My oldest resource is the docket that lists various vampires and their last known location. Yeah, so we give it up. Like, don't need this anymore. Let's move this this here down to a new memory in our diary. This will fill our diary. And I'm not going to worry about moving memories down there anymore. Alright. Possession turns out to... Yeah, I mean, a docket that lists various vampires would be very valuable. Trade your oldest resources for 2 contemporary resources. Do we move? Can we move? Yeah, let's move. Let's come to America. Let's come to America. One of the resources is going to be land. Let's see. Land in America. We'll leave that one vague. We lose the docket that lists various vampires and their locations. Like, maybe perhaps like somebody wouldn't know, like, that this is a docket of vampires and their locations. It could just be, oh, look, this is names and people's locations. I wonder what this was. This has really cool historical value. It's from 3 centuries ago, 4 centuries ago. Yeah, but we no longer have it. So we've had that for quite a long time. Sad to see it go, actually. Okay, what's another resource we get? Land in America. Ooh, how about a boat? Like we own a boat. And a transatlantic ship. Nice. Okay. All right. Land in America and owned a transatlantic ship. We don't have to necessarily say that Misha moved. But yeah, like somebody gave us a lot for that docket of vampire names. So maybe they do know it's vampires. It's a very interesting twist of events there. Okay, we're gonna roll again. Lost a resource, gain 2 resources. Okay, so that's a net gain of 1 resource, which is good. Is the Holy Grail? Yeah, the Holy Grail is marked out. So when I look over to my OBS screen, this screen looks like the Holy Grail is not struck out, I guess. Struck out, however you would say that. Yeah, let's roll again here. D10, 2, D6, 5. We are moving backwards. So first backwards movement of this session. And that was a 3. We're gonna move back to 62. Okay, you realize that some ancient taboo or limitation you long believed in no longer applies. What circumstances prompted this discovery? How does this make your existence more satisfying? Change one checked or unchecked skill in a way that's relevant. One checked or unchecked skill in a way that's relevant. Didn't say to uncheck it, just said to change it. Okay. So now I'm at the let marinate for a second. Actually, all these prompts you should let marinate because they're so open-ended. There's so many ways you can answer each of these prompts. But the constraint is you're answering within the scope of the prompt. And that's what can boost your creativity when writing. Not that I'm a writer. You realize that some ancient taboo or limitation you've long believed no longer applies. What circumstances prompted the discovery? How does this make your existence satisfying? Change one checked or unchecked skill and whether it's relevant. So one way I like to play is to look at the mechanic that the prompt is asking you to change or do, and then use that to give you circumstances for like the fiction around the prompt. So can smell large animals, train swordsman, horse training, time to leave, veterinary surgery. That's one. Wait, that's not really a taboo or limitation. Oh man. Mirror avoidance, tailoring, and visionary. Like, what's taboo? Ancient taboo or limitation? I'm having a lot of trouble with this one. How does this make your existence more satisfying? Change one checked or unchecked skill and whether it's relevant. Check skills are life of the party, never trust an immortal, body disposal, on horseback riding, or check skills. Wow. I am actually kind of stumped on this one. I know I don't get a lot of viewers, but if anybody's lurking out there, I can definitely use help. Interesting. Let's do... Oh man, I don't want to take this one down like racist tropes. But for some reason, like when I think of ancient taboo, I really think of like the way people treated other races, especially, you know, England, 13th century. You know, there wasn't a lot of diversity in most areas back then. Diversity wasn't really a thing, you know. When the age of travel came along, diversity got greater because you know, the ease of travel between far off locations and people that were very, very different than you became more and more commonplace, and we're still experiencing that now. So I think that the ancient taboo or limitation you believe no longer applies. What circumstances prompted this discovery? How does it make your existence more satisfying? Change one unchecked skill in a way that's relevant. So I had life of the party. Okay, how about time to leave? Like this one. We can change this one to something else. And what I'm thinking is, and yeah, it's gonna be along racial lines, so I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for that. But I think that like perhaps Misha always had this belief that dark-skinned people, like maybe like he never even saw dark-skinned people until he moved to Italy, but like he always had this belief that dark-skinned people were somehow inferior and weren't of proper race as, you know, the Anglo-Saxons, and that is the taboo. But then traveling to America, and how does this make your existence more satisfying? Is that he realizes that humans are pretty much the same everywhere, the same feelings and everything. So change one checked or unchecked skill in a way that's relevant. So for time to leave, we have all things, and we have humans are all alike. There we go. So we're going to change time to leave. Humans are all alike. Right there. And we're going to put this one in. Put it in memory 4. On a recent travel to the New World, I was able to observe the daily life and gatherings of the indigenous peoples. I once looked down on those with dark complexion. But those years spent amongst them in a recent travels. Travel not used as a noun. I don't know, you can't use travel as a noun. I thought travel was a noun. Do some travel? Well, that's kind of, I don't have some travel? Nah. You gotta travel? Alright. I once looked down upon those with dark complexion, but those years spent amongst them have taught me that no matter where they are, humans are alike. Same smiles, same laughs, same tears. Misha, you actually weren't a piece of crap for once. You changed for the better. Okay. I mean, not really. I mean, it just means Misha's willing to feed on those with darker complexions. Yeah, let's roll again. D10. Oh, another 2. Might be going backwards again. And a 3, yeah, backwards by 1. We're going to prompt 61. Prompt 61. Someone reminds you of a beloved character long dead. Check a skill to curry their acquaintance. Creates a mortal character. Okay. Who shall it be? Ernesta Fiorentina. Do we even remember Ernesta? I don't even remember Ernesta. The only, let's see. Memories, we got... Cosma. Abigail. Cordelia, Josh Day. And that's it. Those are the only ones I have memories of. In the diary. Oh, we remember Noelle. Yeah, so it has to be Noelle, right? The one we loved in France. Someone reminds you of a beloved character long dead. Check a skill to curry their acquaintance. So we got horse training, trained swordsman, Humans are all like veterinary surgery. Ooh, let's use veterinary surgery. So I think you meet somebody that has a sick horse, and we save the horse through veterinary surgery, and this person reminds us of Noelle. Create a mortal character. So I'm gonna say this happened in Russia as well. So let's flip a name generator here. I don't like the last names it generates. Evelina. Elena. We'll just say Elena. We won't do a last name. Elena. Elena. A landowner. That reminds me of. Okay, we're gonna bold it. Memory. So we can put this in memory 1. Elena needed with a sick horse. Was able to save the animal's life by removing a tumor near its hind. Elena is a school teacher. So, not a landowner, but a school teacher. Just like Noelle. That makes sense. Alright. So, we have somebody that reminds us of Noelle. Like, in the fiction, or actually, like, in the gameplay, Noelle was around for literally 1 turn. We fall in love with somebody far away. Her name was Noelle. We moved there. And then the very next prompt, we had to leave. So, we don't know what the time scale was on that. But yeah, so let's keep moving on. I'm enjoying this. Roll again. Created a mortal character. Check the skill. Yeah. Okay. 8 and 2. That's moving ahead 6. So we are on 67. 67. Language itself leaves you behind. People discuss concepts you cannot grasp. Tools you cannot understand. How is this problem dramatically made manifest? Create a character who would teach you a skill to help you offset this advantage. Wow, we can jump way ahead in time here. I'm thinking this prompt. Because, I mean, if you lose language, like, you're losing a lot of time. So, like, this time that we've been in Russia has been kind of condensed. Yeah, I think this calls for a jump in time. Like, maybe a few centuries, at least. People discuss concepts you cannot grasp using tools you cannot understand. How is this problem dramatically made manifest? Like, do we jump all the way to, like, modern times? That's like 3 centuries. Concepts you cannot grasp using tools you cannot understand. I'm thinking like early 1900s. Yeah, I'm thinking like moving forward like a couple centuries. We're gonna have to like move all our mortal characters to 'cause I mean that's the only way. Like this prompt, it's implying that like language leaves you, like you can't lose language quickly, right? You can't have concepts that you don't understand unless you're not paying attention to the movement of concepts. And that's a factor of time. How does this problem dramatically manifest? Create a character who teach you a skill to help you offset this advantage. Alright. It's gonna make the most sense to jump ahead here. We're going to move all these mortals to the dead range. Elena, we just met you. Alright, so we're gonna put question marks by them because we don't know how they passed away. Just time. Just time. Memory 5. Yeah, memory 5. The centuries have passed me by. Faces and places change without me noticing. A blur of nothing. No memories. How did I get here? To this time. No. It's not here this time. It's here to this time. Google, you are wrong. You are not understanding what idea I'm going for. Yeah, I'm guessing like we moved ahead a few centuries. All right. People work smoking buildings. And travel and smoking ships. I wander the streets that now possess magic lights at night. Create a character who's lost. Alright, let's create a character. Let's go with Juan Gallo. That's a cool name. Juan Gallo. Juan Gallo. Create a character that teaches you, who will teach you a skill to help set this advantage. Yeah, like Juan Gallo, a factory worker. Who taught me how to use a library. I didn't know libraries were around in the early 1900s. I'm sure they were. Searching. Immortal man named Juan. Shows me the location of storage of knowledge. Books. Teaches me how to find the tomes I need to learn of what I have missed. There we go. Alright. Create a character who teach you a skill to help offset this advantage. So we have a skill. Our skill is research. Research. And Juan taught us how to research. Okay. Alright, but we've jumped ahead. We're like in the 1900s now. Early 1900s. Let's roll. D10. Oh, 10. 3. We're moving at 7. We might be coming to the end of Misha. Slash Silvio. Slash John Hauser IV. Slash Young Hauser. Yeah. Moving ahead 7 spots to 74. This is the exact same one I had in my last playthrough of this. You are physically trapped in a place from which you will never be rescued. What do you think about for the first 1,000 years? The game is over. This is the end. Physically trapped in a place for which you will never be rescued. What do you think about for the first 1,000 years? The game is over. Why do we get trapped? Physically trapped in a place for which you never be rescued. So, like, where can you get trapped where you're never rescued? So the picture on the page shows like a cave. The vault. The vault. The vault. The one in Russia, the vault we were building. That's indestructible. It's buried. We were found by the vampire hunters. By Cordelia, finally. The vampires that are vampire hunters. Because we lost the freaking docket. We traded it for land in America. And a ship. And we lost the docket. And Cordelia got the docket. And through our vampire network that we still have, they found me finally in the early 1900s. Took me back to my vault that I was building in Russia and buried me there for all time. Wow. See, that's the muse of this game. Sometimes it just hits you like that. What an ending. What do we think about for the first 1,000 years? That humans were never really the enemy. It was always their own kind, the vampires. Cordelia hunted young Hauser pretty much all the time, but only showed up in the beginning and at the end. Humans have always shown empathy. There's always been humans that have shown empathy to the vampire, whether through wanting the power themselves or other reasons that there's empathy in humans. Vampires lack empathy. That there's a connection even with animals. I mean, although young Hauser, fed on animals and killed animals for food, so do humans. We eat animals. We eat meat. What's the difference if a vampire just drains them and kills them and drinks their blood? Yeah, these are things that he thinks about for thousands of years. never be rescued, trapped in a vault of his own creation, put there by vampires like him. They hate themselves, I guess. The end. Great story. Great story. I love this vampire. So complex. So complex. This is looking back on this. So this is kind of a post play session thoughts on our vampire and the game in general. So I love this game. I love writing prompts. I love journaling games. I love prompts that get your creative juices flowing, we should say. They're wonderful things. I think everybody out there is creative. If you're out there and you say, well, I'm not creative enough, do not believe that. Everybody is creative. The human mind is creative. Everybody is creative. The only problem is we stifle that creativity as we get older, because you need to, adult. You need to be serious. All the time. You need to be serious. But I mean, if you have kids, watch your kids. Or if you don't have kids, remember when you were a kid. And, you had to play by yourself or play with a friend. What did you do? You played make-believe for the most part, right? Sure, there were video games and all that. But, like if you didn't have the video games, you made stuff up. You grabbed some sticks and you pretend to sword fight. You grab 2 broomsticks and you pretend to sword fight. You pretend you're in race cars. You pretend you're in spaceships. You were playing make-believe. You were using that creativity. But as you get older, much of us lose that feeling of creating freely, or just for the sake of creating. You don't need to create to make money. You don't need to create for a purpose. You can just create. You can just play. And that's one of the things I love about journaling games, I guess, or prompt games, or storytelling games, or role-playing games, or even video games where you make a choice. Video games a little less, because video games have the constraint of the code has to be in there. They don't allow you to unleash your full imagination on a space sometimes. But sometimes they do. I mean, Minecraft does. Like, Minecraft's a game that allows you to be creative, endless creations in the constraint that you're using blocks that exist in the Minecraft world. But yeah, I think everybody needs to practice their creativity, even if it's doodling. I don't have my doodle book nearby where I put it. It was here a few days ago, but now it's not. But yeah, just doodling. Have you ever heard of something called Zentangling, where you repeat patterns in a small area, then you switch to another pattern, whether it be drawing circles or lines or all that. Those are creative outputs. Even something as simply as, oh, I'm following this pattern. Your choice of which pattern to draw is a creative exercise. Where to draw those patterns, what color pen to use, what color, a coloring book is a creative exercise. You can color the person's face any color. You can color the sky any color. You color the grass any color. Creativity is very important. And I think that most of us stifle that as we grow older. We stifle that creativity because we have to be adults. We have to be more serious, right? But yeah, so definitely games like this allow you to be creative. So definitely take a look at it. You can even just look up writing prompts on the internet and allow your creativity to flow. It doesn't have to be good. It's not something that you're gonna have to publish out there for everybody to see. You can write it down and delete it, and you can throw it in the trash can, throw it in the fireplace. You can draw something and crumple it up and put it in the trash can, throw it in your compost pile, feed it to your dog. I don't know. Just be creative, and any chance you get, don't stifle it. You need that expression. Everybody needs it. And people that say they're not creative, it's not true. We're all human beings. We all have the creative brain. We all have the capacity to be creative. Yeah. But yeah, as far as like this game is concerned, the prompts allow creativity. Sometimes they're kind of hard, because a prompt will definitely flip it on its head and you have to think about it for a little bit. You know, sometimes it switches the story up. Like, it feels like it's switching the story up too quick. But you got to remember, you're playing a vampire that is living for centuries, and it's okay to jump ahead a century or 2 or 3 centuries, like we jumped ahead in this game, in order to answer one of the prompts. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. This vampire wasn't your typical vampire. I feed on humans. Humans are below me. I feed on them. This vampire, throughout its centuries, still felt a connection to humanity, even to a point like they did have their moments where they fed exclusively on humans, which is, you know, I mean, like when I say moments, a moment for a vampire could be a whole century, a lifetime, 2 lifetimes, generations, I should say, for human beings. Yeah, this vampire always seemed to have a connection to animals and had an empathetic, is that the word? Yeah, empathetic connection with human beings. Humans helped him out throughout his existence as a vampire, and was ultimately the only people that were antagonistic really towards the vampire were the family of the woman he fell in love with and other vampires. There was no other antagonistic characters besides those. Yeah, and I really think that this was a very, I guess if you could say, a human-like vampire. Understood that humans learned after centuries that humans are alike. Didn't matter where you're from, what culture you're from. They're all the same. They all laugh, they all smile, they all cry. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I am done with my coffee. Actually, one more sip and I'll be done. So perfect timing on playing this game. This brings my playthrough of 1000-Year-Old Vampire to an end. I always enjoy solo games like this. I love the, like I said, the creative outlet for it. So if you watch this, if you just stopped in and watched this at any point in any of the 4 videos, I really appreciate that. I'm gonna end this one here. As far as what I got coming up on the Twitch channel, like I said, I don't make schedules, so it is what it is. I just play when I play. It's probably why I don't build up a huge following. But I also don't self-promote at all. I don't tweet when I go live. I don't say, hey, come check me out. My pretty much promotion is visiting other people's streams and interacting with them. That's my stream promotion. So time is the most valuable thing. So like when I spend time on Twitch, I'm gonna spend time doing something I was gonna be doing anyways, such as playing a solo RPG or a video game. So I have been playing Wildermyth video game, so I'll probably do some more streams of that. I'll probably pick up another solo RPG to play on stream. I've played 1000-Year-Old Vampire quite a few times. I've played The Wretched recently. I don't think I want to play that one again anytime soon. Maybe one of its variations will be fun. But yeah, I mean, there's multiple solo engines out there. English Airy is a good one. That's a horror one. Alone Amongst the Stars is one that I've kind of played but didn't really get into. That one's really open-ended. Soleil's really open-ended. Yeah, I'm just Ironsworn's one I played quite a bit. That's more of a game than a like a journaling prompt writing game. War Against Darkness, D100 Dungeon, I think it's called, is another one. Those are more gamey type games where you're rolling dice and you're fighting monsters and stuff like that. Not really narratively focused. Like I'm more focused on the narrative. Like So one of the things about, like, say a game like, I'm going on a tangent here, I realize that. But like one of the things about games that are really like combat focused, that are numbers focused, that are about character growth, like so you can fight bigger monsters, so you can get better loot, which makes you better, so you can fight bigger monsters, so you get better loot. Like that's the gameplay loop, right? I don't enjoy those type of tabletop games where that's the gameplay loop. To me, it reminds me of an MMO, like grinding an MMO. Yeah, sure, it's more fun because you're playing with other people. Your imagination's a little bit, or is a lot more open-ended. Way better than an MMO would ever be when it comes to range of story and all that. But like those games are so focused on that gameplay loop. Kill a monster, get the loot, makes you better. You kill a bigger monster, get the loot, makes you better. You kill a bigger monster, get the loot, makes you better. And then like kind of like it's the story shoehorned over it. Doesn't make sense because you shoehorn stuff into something, but either way, the mechanics don't drive the narrative. The mechanics drive the combat, and then you use the combat to drive the narrative. And that's just not really my jam. So that's why I kind of avoid solo games that are focused on the combat, because then the combat drives the narrative. But I still think I'm going to try one of them out. War Against Darkness. I haven't read it. I saw it. People mention it. Might be one because you play multiple characters. Starforged, which is the Iron Sworn space one. I really want to try that one out. I haven't played that one. That one got funded on Kickstarter and it hasn't really been released yet. So yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling here. And yeah, thank you all for, I say you all, I probably had one viewer today, 2 viewers maybe at most, and they just popped in, popped right back out. This dude just yapping, flapping his gums. But thank you all. If you happen to watch this on VOD, thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there and I'm gonna end it. You all have a great day. Have a great Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. If not, have a great week. And I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.